Welcome to this journey into one of the most unsettling stories the graveyards of Auschwitz-Birkenau have ever held in their cold, silent embrace. Before we begin, comment where you're watching from. Because the places we're about to walk through hide more than shadows and stone. They hide secrets that were never meant to resurface. This story is a work of fiction created purely for entertainment. Any resemblance to real people, living or dead, is entirely coincidental. The vast expanse of Auschwitz-Birkenau stretches like a scar across the landscape, an enduring testament to unimaginable human suffering. Rows of barracks, barbed wire, and guard towers pierce the horizon, framing a reality that feels impossibly distant yet unbearably close. The sheer scale of the site suggests an industrialized mechanism of death, each section meticulously organized, each pathway etched with the memory of those who passed through. Beneath the surface, however, the earth holds more than what the eye can see. It conceals remnants of pain, loss, and secrets that challenge understanding and evoke a chilling curiosity. Exploring the grounds reveals subtle traces of what once occurred. Burnt fragments, discarded items, and faint traces of human presence hint at lives violently interrupted. Visitors often describe a sensation of weight, an almost physical pressure pressing against the chest, as if the soil itself remembers the agony buried within. Every step over the uneven paths evokes questions about the countless souls who walked there, the decisions made by perpetrators, and the unimaginable suffering endured. In the shadows of the barracks, one can imagine whispered conversations, quiet prayers, and desperate attempts to retain dignity amidst chaos. Auschwitz-Birkenau functioned as a calculated mechanism of destruction, yet beneath the official narrative, rumors and accounts persist of hidden chambers, undiscovered graves, and unmarked territories. Survivors spoke in fragmented memories of tunnels, secret storage rooms, and concealed passages used by guards to hide evidence of atrocities. These concealed areas, often dismissed as myth or legend, suggest a layer of secrecy that went beyond the visible structures. The scale of concealment, if verified, would redefine our understanding of the camp's operations and the lengths taken to obscure the evidence of mass murder. Scholars and historians have long debated the existence of hidden areas beneath the camp. Archaeological studies reveal anomalies in the soil, depressions inconsistent with known structures, and traces of unnatural disturbances. Metal detectors, ground-penetrating radar, and advanced imaging technologies occasionally reveal voids or foreign objects buried just out of reach. Each discovery is met with skepticism and intrigue, raising more questions than answers. What lies beneath these layers of soil? Are they remnants of unfinished structures, mass graves, or secret chambers meant for other purposes? The unanswered questions fuel a fascination that mingles historical inquiry with human curiosity. The human stories intertwined with the camp's geography are equally compelling. Individuals who survived brief periods in Auschwitz-Birkenau recount experiences of sudden disappearances, unseen tortures, and incomprehensible cruelty. Some described being forced to dig in areas that were later abandoned, or witnessing guards hurriedly covering up something they were unwilling to explain. Each account adds to the puzzle, suggesting that what we know is only a fraction of the truth. Beneath the brick, stone, and soil, layers of human experience remain locked away, demanding attention from those who seek to understand both the horrors and the hidden narratives of the camp. Exploring Auschwitz-Birkenau today requires navigating the delicate balance between preservation and investigation. Authorities maintain strict guidelines to protect both the physical site and the memory of its victims. Archaeologists and historians must work within boundaries designed to honor the dead while seeking evidence of hidden spaces. Excavations are rare, cautious, and deliberate, often revealing fragments of objects, remnants of structures, and occasional skeletal remains. Each find is meticulously catalogued, documented, and studied, yet the full story remains incomplete. The silence of the earth conceals secrets that defy comprehension, as if the ground itself resists full disclosure. The psychological weight of visiting and studying Auschwitz-Birkenau cannot be understated. The enormity of what occurred permeates the atmosphere, and even in the absence of crowds, the camp exerts a haunting presence. Visitors report an unsettling awareness, a sense that the ground itself remembers atrocities too vast for memory alone. Scholars, too, feel the emotional toll, balancing the demands of research with the profound respect owed to the countless lives lost. The interplay between curiosity and reverence shapes every encounter with the site, whether examining surface-level structures, reviewing historical records, or imagining what lies beneath the soil. Beneath the visible landscape, beneath the markers of history, the camp continues to whisper its hidden stories to those who seek to understand, challenging comprehension and evoking a deep, lasting reflection. The air around Auschwitz-Birkenau carries an inexplicable weight, thick with history and the echoes of human suffering. Walking through the vast expanse of the camp, it becomes evident that every brick, every fence, every path holds a story, and yet so many remain untold. Beneath the orderly lines of barracks and watchtowers, beneath the paths trodden by millions of feet, there exists a layer of hidden truths that the casual visitor can never see. The soil itself, disturbed and compacted through decades of construction, destruction, and neglect, serves as a repository for secrets too heavy to remain visible. Even now, decades after liberation, small tremors of the past surface in unexpected ways, fragments of clothing, rusted tools, remnants of human life, each telling a fragment of the larger story buried below. In the quiet hours, when the crowds have thinned and the wind whispers across the abandoned grounds, it is easy to imagine what must have been. The barracks, once filled with desperate people clinging to life, stand as hollow shells, shadows of their former functions. Within these structures, traces of past horrors linger in subtle ways. Graffiti scratched into the walls, faded inscriptions, and a faint smell of smoke still seem to hover in the air. Beneath the surface, however, the camp's construction and destruction were far more complex than the visible evidence suggests. Hidden tunnels, concealed pits, and forgotten cellars have been hinted at in survivor testimonies, suggesting that the camp was not only a place of death but also a maze of secrecy, designed to hide the mechanisms of murder from the outside world and even from its victims. The geographical layout of Auschwitz-Birkenau adds another layer of mystery. The camp sprawls over dozens of hectares, with sections separated by railway lines, forests, and subtle elevation changes. These natural and constructed boundaries created areas that were less observed, less scrutinized, and therefore more susceptible to concealment. Survivor accounts recall areas where guards moved quickly, covering openings or shoring up makeshift constructions, only to leave them abandoned once their immediate purpose was fulfilled. The idea of hidden chambers beneath the earth gains credence when paired with these testimonies. Archaeological investigations have revealed depressions, voids, and anomalies in soil composition that suggest structures no longer visible above ground. Some of these features may have been temporary storage areas, secret burial grounds, or even places designed to hide evidence of experiments. The uncertainty fuels the imagination and underscores the chilling reality that much of the camp's history remains inaccessible, buried both physically and psychologically. The artifacts found beneath the camp tell stories of both the victims and those who perpetrated the crimes. Rusted tools, fragments of personal belongings, and broken pieces of infrastructure create a mosaic of human activity frozen in time. Each item recovered from the soil raises questions about who used it, why it was left behind, and what it witnessed. These objects serve as silent witnesses to moments of intense human suffering, and their discovery provides a tangible link to the past. Beyond the physical evidence, documents and photographs sometimes surface in archives that hint at areas of the camp deliberately kept secret. Blueprints show structures that no longer exist, while testimonies allude to guards' efforts to hide certain activities from inspection. Every recovered piece, whether a fragment of a shoe or a corner of a ledger, adds another layer to the story, deepening the understanding of how meticulously the camp was managed and how much of its dark history remains obscured. The psychological dimension of Auschwitz-Birkenau's hidden spaces cannot be overlooked. For those who survived even brief exposure, the memory of what was concealed became as haunting as what was seen. Some recalled having to pass through areas cordoned off by guards, where the silence was almost physical and the air seemed heavier. The fear associated with these spaces was palpable. Even in casual observation, prisoners sensed that something was hidden, something too terrible to be revealed. This intuition was often confirmed in whispers, fragmented recollections of hidden pits or secret constructions, or in the hurried reactions of guards. These intangible memories complement the physical evidence, suggesting that the camp's full reality cannot be reconstructed solely from its remaining architecture. The very act of uncovering hidden areas is fraught with ethical and emotional considerations. Archaeologists and historians must tread carefully, balancing the need to understand with the responsibility to honor the dead. Excavations are conducted slowly, deliberately, and respectfully, each step weighed against the potential impact on both remains and memory. In some cases, what lies beneath may be graves yet unmarked, objects interred by desperate individuals, or structures built under duress. The discoveries, though invaluable to historical understanding, carry with them a profound weight, a reminder that these sites were once the epicenter of unimaginable cruelty. The tension between discovery and reverence defines every investigation, shaping how researchers approach both the known and the hidden facets of the camp. Every discovery beneath the surface generates both answers and more questions. Ground-penetrating radar reveals anomalies that may be empty spaces, tunnels, or decomposed structures. Metal detectors pick up fragments of objects that hint at daily activities and extraordinary horrors. Each new revelation demands careful interpretation, as misreading the evidence could distort the historical record or disrespect the memory of those who suffered. Historians piece together these fragments, reconstructing not only the physical layout of hidden areas but also the emotional and logistical realities of life and death within the camp. The interplay between evidence, memory, and speculation forms a complex tapestry, where certainty is rare and the weight of human experience is ever present. Beneath the vast, somber landscape of Auschwitz-Birkenau, the earth keeps its secrets well. The hidden areas, whether burial grounds, tunnels, or discarded remnants of daily life, remind us that history is rarely fully visible. For those willing to look beyond the surface, the camp offers lessons not only about human cruelty but also about resilience, memory, and the fragility of life. Every excavation, every recovered artifact, every anomaly detected in the soil serves as a bridge between the past and the present, connecting us to lives interrupted, hopes extinguished, and the stark reality of systematic destruction. In confronting these hidden truths, one gains a deeper understanding of both the scope of horror and the enduring power of remembrance. The camp is more than a graveyard above ground, it is a layered monument to the unseen, the unrecorded, and the enduring shadows beneath the surface. Walking further into the heart of Auschwitz-Birkenau, it becomes impossible to ignore the meticulous planning that went into its layout. From above, the camp appears almost orderly, a chilling juxtaposition to the horrors it concealed. Yet beneath this surface order lies an intricate web of hidden spaces and forgotten structures. Survivors often spoke of areas that seemed off-limits, fenced and guarded, where even the most observant could sense something unsaid. These zones were more than mere extensions of living quarters or storage areas, they were secretive, often sinister, spaces designed to isolate, to hide, and to control. The ground itself bears the memory of those efforts, compacted and scarred by human activity, bearing evidence of both visible construction and hidden work. Every inch of soil carries the imprint of footsteps, those of victims, perpetrators, and the countless people caught in between. The sheer scale of activity below the surface suggests that what we see above is only a fraction of what existed, and much of it may remain forever out of reach. Archaeological research over the decades has revealed anomalies in the soil and subtle depressions that hint at subterranean structures. Some may have been temporary storage areas, hiding tools, food, or evidence of operations deemed too sensitive for plain sight. Others could have been shallow graves or areas designed to dispose of objects linked to the camp's inner workings. Survivor testimonies corroborate these findings, describing how certain zones seemed different, how guards would rush through them or block access entirely. The consistency of these recollections across time suggests that the hidden spaces were not accidental but integral to the camp's function. They were part of a broader system of control, concealment, and terror, where the act of hiding was as important as the act of killing itself. Artifacts uncovered from these hidden areas provide a glimpse into daily life, if it can be called that, within the camp. Broken utensils, fragments of clothing, and personal items discarded in haste point to the human stories buried beneath the surface. Each piece, no matter how mundane, carries with it the weight of survival and loss, a testimony to the lives abruptly interrupted. Archaeologists also uncover evidence of camp operations, rusted keys, parts of rail equipment, remnants of gas chamber mechanisms, and even pieces of machinery whose purpose was only recently understood. These finds illuminate not just the physical layout but also the grim mechanics of control and extermination. The interplay between personal artifacts and operational remnants creates a layered understanding of the camp, one of both intimate suffering and systematic cruelty. The underground aspects of Auschwitz-Birkenau also played a psychological role for both guards and prisoners. Hidden spaces were used strategically to instill fear and maintain order. Prisoners, never certain of what lay beneath their feet or behind the fences, lived with constant unease. The knowledge, or even the suspicion, of concealed structures amplified their sense of vulnerability. Guards, on the other hand, used these spaces to conduct activities away from scrutiny, whether disposing of evidence, storing contraband, or carrying out clandestine tasks. The psychological impact of hidden spaces cannot be overstated. They were as much a part of the terror as the visible elements of the camp, contributing to a pervasive atmosphere of anxiety and unpredictability that defined life there. Modern technology has provided new ways to explore what lies beneath. Ground-penetrating radar, magnetic surveys, and careful excavation have revealed voids, anomalies, and patterns that suggest tunnels, pits, and structures long forgotten. Some discoveries point to areas where bodies may have been temporarily stored before final disposal, or where materials were hidden to evade the attention of inspectors. Each new layer uncovered requires meticulous analysis, for misinterpretation can lead to historical inaccuracies or even disrespect to those who perished. The process is slow and deliberate, reflecting the need for both precision and reverence. These investigations bridge the gap between visible history and hidden reality, offering insights into the full extent of the camp's function and the deliberate measures taken to conceal its operations. The human element in these investigations cannot be ignored. Archaeologists, historians, and volunteers approach the task with caution, aware that beneath their feet lie stories of unimaginable suffering. Every artifact recovered is catalogued, studied, and often reburied with respect, acknowledging that the ground is sacred. The challenge lies in balancing the pursuit of knowledge with ethical considerations, uncovering history without desecrating memory. This delicate balance shapes the way research is conducted, with each excavation treated as both a scientific endeavor and a moral responsibility. The findings enrich understanding, providing context for what has been recorded in documents, photographs, and testimonies, while also revealing aspects of the camp that were deliberately hidden and almost lost to time. Beyond the physical and archaeological aspects, there is the enduring question of what remains unseen. Not every hidden structure or buried artifact will ever be found. Soil shifts, decay, and human intervention over decades have erased many traces. Yet the very possibility that more exists beneath the surface maintains a connection to the past that is both haunting and necessary. The unseen elements of Auschwitz-Birkenau serve as a metaphor for the aspects of history that resist easy observation, the stories that have not been told, the lives that have not been fully documented, the truths deliberately obscured. Confronting these hidden realities forces us to grapple not only with the scale of human cruelty but also with the limits of our understanding and the responsibility to remember. The camp, in its entirety, is more than a site of memory above ground. Beneath the fences, the barracks, and the watchtowers lies a labyrinth of human experience, suffering, and resilience. Each excavation, every artifact recovered, and every anomaly in the soil adds depth to the narrative, revealing the interplay between visibility and concealment, life and death, memory and forgetting. The earth holds both physical remnants and intangible traces of terror, serving as a lasting testament to the complexities of human behavior in extreme conditions. Understanding what lies beneath Auschwitz-Birkenau is not merely an academic pursuit, it is an engagement with history that demands empathy, respect, and a willingness to confront the darkest aspects of humanity. The daily operations of Auschwitz-Birkenau left an indelible mark on the landscape, a mark that extends far below the surface. Beneath the barracks, the kitchens, and the administrative offices, the ground itself bears witness to human activity and suffering. Archaeologists and historians have long speculated about what lies buried in these hidden areas, and recent investigations have begun to shed light on spaces that were deliberately concealed. Some were utilitarian, designed to support the camp's infrastructure, while others were sinister in purpose, meant to hide evidence of atrocities or isolate victims from prying eyes. The layering of the site, visible structures above and secretive spaces below, creates a complex network that challenges the notion that what is seen above ground is all there is. Each excavation, each new discovery, adds a layer of understanding, revealing how control and concealment were carefully intertwined in a camp's design. Among the most striking findings are the remnants of storage pits and shallow burials. These spaces, often hidden beneath the main walkways or near fence lines, contained everything from tools and supplies to personal belongings abandoned in haste. The presence of these items offers a glimpse into the human dimension of the camp, showing not only the suffering inflicted but also the day-to-day improvisation and survival attempts by prisoners. Personal artifacts, shoes, fragments of clothing, small household objects, provide a haunting reminder of individuality within a system designed to erase identity. The contrast between these intimate remnants and the large-scale operational machinery found nearby underscores the duality of life in the camp, intensely personal and overwhelmingly systematic at the same time. The psychology of hiding is also evident in these underground spaces. Guards and administrators understood that fear could be amplified through concealment. Prisoners who glimpsed or suspected hidden areas were often driven to anxiety and mistrust, unsure whether what they could not see was a haven or a trap. The unknown, the unseen, became a tool of control, shaping behavior without direct intervention. Meanwhile, hidden spaces allowed perpetrators to act without accountability, whether to dispose of bodies, hide stolen belongings, or conduct experiments away from the scrutiny of others. These zones of secrecy created an invisible layer of governance, where fear and obedience were maintained not solely through direct observation but through the uncertainty of what lay beneath their feet. Technological advancements in archaeology have provided unprecedented insight into the hidden spaces beneath Auschwitz-Birkenau. Ground-penetrating radar has revealed voids and depressions indicative of tunnels, pits, and other structures that had long been suspected but never fully documented. Magnetic surveys have identified anomalies consistent with metal artifacts or machinery buried below ground. Excavations, carried out with meticulous care, have uncovered fragments of construction materials, remnants of tools, and even traces of human activity that corroborate survivor accounts. Each discovery illuminates how much was deliberately concealed, underscoring the level of planning and forethought that went into both the camp's construction and its operations. The physical evidence is a reminder that history is layered, and what lies beneath may hold truths that written records alone cannot convey. The act of unearthing these hidden spaces is as much ethical as it is scientific. Researchers approach each excavation with reverence, acutely aware that the ground is sacred. Every artifact recovered is documented, studied, and often returned to the soil or preserved in a manner that respects the victims. The challenge lies in balancing the pursuit of knowledge with the need to honor memory. Missteps in excavation can lead to historical misinterpretation or, worse, desecration of the site. The responsibility to handle the past carefully shapes every phase of investigation, reminding researchers that uncovering the physical remnants of atrocity is inseparable from the moral duty to remember. Beneath the surface, the camp also contained spaces designed to maintain order and prevent escape. Hidden rooms, pits, and passageways allowed guards to monitor or control activity without being seen themselves. These zones were strategic, part of an intricate system of surveillance and containment that extended the camp's reach beyond the visible perimeter. For prisoners, the presence of these secretive areas created an omnipresent sense of vulnerability. Even ordinary movements across the camp could not dispel the awareness that unseen eyes might be observing, or that beneath the ground lay spaces designed for punishment or concealment. The psychology of the hidden therefore functioned alongside physical oppression, reinforcing the system's power in ways that were subtle yet pervasive. Artifacts from hidden areas reveal both the brutality and the resilience of those imprisoned. Rusted utensils, broken personal items, fragments of clothing, and abandoned footwear are tangible links to lives abruptly disrupted. In contrast, improvised tools, personal inscriptions, and remnants of clandestine writings point to the human capacity to endure and resist. These finds illustrate the duality of the hidden spaces. They served both as instruments of terror and as silent witnesses to human survival. Each object tells a story, not merely of death and destruction, but of the complex interactions between oppressors and victims, between concealment and revelation, between despair and hope. Even decades later, the ground beneath Auschwitz-Birkenau continues to hold secrets. Soil shifts, decay, and environmental factors mean that some spaces may never be fully understood. Yet the very act of searching, of carefully uncovering, ensures that hidden truths are not entirely lost. The unseen areas of the camp serve as a reminder that history is rarely fully visible, and that the past often persists in ways that resist simple observation. Exploring what lies beneath is a testament to both the meticulous planning of the perpetrators and the enduring need of humanity to remember, to document, and to confront the darkest aspects of human behavior. The hidden spaces of Auschwitz-Birkenau are not just physical voids, they are symbols of memory, secrecy, suffering, and the ongoing responsibility to bear witness. One of the most haunting aspects of Auschwitz-Birkenau lies in the remnants of what were once living quarters, now buried and partially destroyed, leaving only traces of human habitation beneath the surface. Excavations in these areas reveal floors blackened by soot, charred wooden beams, and fragments of personal belongings scattered in patterns that suggest sudden abandonment. Prisoners often had little time to gather even the most essential possessions, leaving behind objects that were later covered by dirt, rubble, and camp operations. These underground traces serve as a stark reminder of lives abruptly interrupted, illustrating the fragility of routine and the suddenness with which daily existence could be obliterated. Archaeologists carefully document the positioning of items, noting how their arrangement can indicate acts of haste, attempts at concealment, or moments of personal ritual before deportation or punishment. Each fragment becomes a silent witness, a tangible connection to the individuals who once inhabited these spaces, preserving memory even as the physical structures decay. Beneath the camp, there are also the traces of hidden infrastructural networks designed to support the operation of Auschwitz-Birkenau while remaining largely invisible. Drainage systems, water channels, and concealed utility conduits were essential for the camp's functionality, yet they also created spaces where human remains, discarded materials, and evidence of atrocity could be hidden, whether intentionally or by accident. The overlapping layers of infrastructure and concealment reflect the meticulous engineering of both life and death, where practicality served the dual purpose of efficiency and secrecy. Surveying these subterranean systems allows historians to map the movement of prisoners and guards alike, understanding how the camp was managed both above and below ground. These hidden corridors of water and waste became inadvertent memorials to suffering, silently recording the human cost of the camp's design. The psychological toll of hidden spaces is further magnified when considering the knowledge prisoners had, or believed they had, about what lay beneath. Rumors of hidden pits, tunnels, and unknown chambers spread quickly among inmates, creating an atmosphere of pervasive fear. The imagination filled the voids with possible horrors, and uncertainty became a constant companion. The unseen spaces functioned as instruments of oppression in themselves, shaping behavior and eroding morale without the need for direct confrontation. Fear of the unknown was just as powerful as fear of the known, illustrating how concealment operated as a subtle yet effective form of control. The ground beneath was more than earth and stone, it was an active participant in maintaining the terror that defined daily life in the camp. Recent technological advances have allowed for the non-invasive exploration of these underground areas, offering insights while preserving the sanctity of the site. Ground-penetrating radar, magnetometry, and 3D mapping reveal anomalies that suggest voids, tunnels, or hidden chambers without disturbing them unnecessarily. Each discovery raises new questions about the camp's construction, its operational methods, and the extent of hidden atrocity. Some areas previously assumed to be simple storage spaces are now recognized as containing evidence of human suffering or clandestine activity. The layering of soil, rubble, and debris acts as both protection and concealment, and the ability to interpret these layers is crucial to reconstructing the full scope of the camp's history. These techniques have expanded understanding while reinforcing the idea that history often lies beneath the surface, waiting for patient and respectful investigation. Hidden areas also include spaces that were deliberately constructed for punishment and isolation. Solitary confinement pits, hidden interrogation rooms, and concealed storage for disciplinary implements reveal a system designed to extend control beyond the visible structures. Prisoners were acutely aware that beneath the camp existed spaces where oversight was absolute, and the presence of these areas intensified feelings of vulnerability and exposure. Fear and submission were enforced not only by direct supervision but by the persistent, invisible threat of hidden mechanisms. The design of these subterranean zones illustrates the extreme lengths to which the camp's architects went to ensure dominance, creating an environment where compliance was both encouraged and demanded by unseen forces. Artifacts recovered from underground areas provide a layered narrative of life, suffering, and survival. Fragments of pottery, tools, and personal items offer glimpses of daily routines, attempts at comfort, and moments of private expression. In contrast, remnants of barbed wire, chains, and other implements of control illustrate the persistent presence of oppression even in spaces not visible from above. Each artifact is carefully documented and analyzed, revealing connections between the lived experiences of prisoners and the operational strategies of the camp. These items collectively testify to the duality of hidden spaces. They were sites of both ordinary life and extraordinary suffering, blending the mundane and the horrific into a single, indelible record of human existence under extreme conditions. The ethical responsibility of exploring hidden spaces cannot be overstated. Every excavation is conducted with awareness that beneath the surface lie both material evidence and human memory. Disturbing these spaces requires sensitivity to the past and consideration for the descendants of those who perished. Researchers must balance the pursuit of historical understanding with the preservation of memory, ensuring that uncovering physical remains does not lead to disrespect or desecration. This ongoing process of discovery is not merely archaeological, it is a moral act, a way of acknowledging and documenting suffering while honoring the individuals whose lives were intertwined with these hidden spaces. Even as decades pass, the secrets buried beneath Auschwitz-Birkenau continue to emerge in unexpected ways. Soil shifts, erosion, and natural decay reveal objects previously obscured, providing new insight into the camp's history. Each new find reinforces the complexity of the site and the intricacy of its design, emphasizing that what is seen above ground represents only a fraction of the story. The hidden areas beneath the camp are both literal and metaphorical, reminders that the past is layered, difficult to fully perceive, and often filled with truths that are challenging to confront. They remain enduring symbols of suffering, secrecy, and the resilience of memory, urging continuous exploration, documentation, and reflection. Beneath the surface of Auschwitz-Birkenau, the remains of hidden crematoria foundations and charred debris reveal a grim infrastructure designed to facilitate systematic extermination while leaving little trace above ground. Archaeological surveys uncover patterns of burnt soil, ash deposits, and collapsed brickwork, hinting at the scale and intensity of operations that took place in secrecy. Each layer of debris tells a story of calculated efficiency and industrialized death, a reality that contrasts starkly with the often serene landscape above. The study of these hidden foundations offers historians an opportunity to understand the technical and logistical aspects of mass killing, showing how the camp was not only a site of oppression but also a meticulously planned machinery of destruction. Beneath the earth, the physical evidence of atrocity lies preserved, a mute testimony to the lives lost and the deliberate intent of those who oversaw the camp. In addition to physical remnants, soil analysis has revealed traces of human ash and bone, dispersed across areas previously believed to be simple waste disposal sites. This evidence, often imperceptible to the naked eye, allows scientists to reconstruct the sequence of cremations and identify the areas most heavily utilized for this grim purpose. Patterns of distribution suggest a systematic approach to concealment, with efforts made to disperse or cover remains to reduce visibility and prevent discovery. The meticulous planning that governed these underground and concealed operations underscores the calculated cruelty of the camp's administration. Even after decades, the soil itself continues to hold the memory of suffering, a silent but persistent record that challenges any attempt to erase or forget the past. The underground network also included hidden passageways connecting storage facilities, barracks, and utility areas, which served both practical and covert purposes. These passageways allowed guards and administrators to move quickly without drawing attention, facilitating the transport of supplies, prisoners, and sensitive materials. For prisoners, the existence of these hidden corridors remained largely unknown, contributing to an environment of uncertainty and fear. The knowledge that there were spaces beyond their view reinforced the perception of constant surveillance and control, as if the camp itself extended its reach into every corner, seen or unseen. Archaeologists mapping these tunnels today gain insight not only into the physical layout but also into the psychological impact such concealed spaces had on inmates, shaping their perception of danger, escape, and confinement. Artifacts recovered from hidden storage areas provide further context to the camp's operation. Items such as utensils, clothing fragments, medical instruments, and discarded personal belongings illustrate the dual realities of everyday life and suffering. Each artifact recovered from subterranean levels is meticulously catalogued, photographed, and analyzed, revealing connections between routine existence and systematic oppression. For instance, remnants of bedding or clothing offer evidence of overcrowding and inadequate living conditions, while abandoned medical instruments hint at experimentation and abuse. These material traces serve as a bridge between the abstract horrors of history and tangible, concrete evidence, allowing modern observers to comprehend the scale of both suffering and organization in ways that documents alone cannot convey. The hidden areas beneath Auschwitz-Birkenau also played a role in the camp's climate of psychological terror. The very presence of concealed chambers, unobserved pits, and unmarked tunnels created a persistent sense of the unknown. Rumors among prisoners about what might be lurking underground were widespread, often fueling anxiety and despair. The uncertainty about what lay beneath the surface amplified the effect of visible oppression, as prisoners were forced to consider not only what they could see but also what might be hidden, waiting to be revealed at any moment. Fear of the unseen became a powerful mechanism of control, one that reinforced submission and helplessness without requiring direct action. The underground spaces, though hidden, were active participants in the psychological architecture of terror. Modern technology has allowed researchers to uncover details of these subterranean areas without disturbing the integrity of the site. Non-invasive techniques such as ground-penetrating radar, magnetometry, and 3D modeling reveal hidden chambers, voids, and structural anomalies with remarkable precision. This approach ensures that exploration respects both the physical preservation of the camp and the moral responsibility owed to its victims. Each discovery contributes to a more complete understanding of Auschwitz-Birkenau's design and operational methodology, highlighting the depth of planning involved in concealing evidence of atrocities. The ability to visualize these hidden spaces underscores how much of the camp's history lies beneath the surface, reminding us that physical concealment often paralleled the deliberate effort to suppress awareness and memory. The ethics of exploring hidden areas in Auschwitz-Birkenau cannot be overlooked. Every excavation or survey involves careful consideration of the human remains, artifacts, and historical memory contained within. Researchers must balance the pursuit of knowledge with reverence for those who perished, ensuring that discoveries do not become spectacles but remain tools for education and remembrance. This ethical approach extends to public presentation, with findings interpreted in a manner that honors victims and contextualizes the historical record. The hidden spaces of Auschwitz-Birkenau, whether uncovered through technology or careful excavation, serve not only as evidence of atrocity but also as memorials, silent witnesses demanding recognition and respect. Even now, decades after the camp's liberation, hidden spaces continue to reveal new information. Soil erosion, subtle shifts in terrain, and careful investigation have brought to light objects, foundations, and evidence that challenge previous assumptions about the camp's layout and operations. Each discovery emphasizes the layered complexity of Auschwitz-Birkenau, where what is visible above ground represents only a fraction of the story. These subterranean secrets remind historians and visitors alike that memory and history are often buried, requiring patience, sensitivity, and attention to detail to uncover. Beneath the camp, the past persists, waiting to be acknowledged, studied, and honored for generations to come. As we reach the final layers of exploration beneath Auschwitz-Birkenau, the enormity of what lies hidden becomes painfully clear. The ground itself acts as a silent archivist, preserving the remnants of lives extinguished, traces of cruelty, and the logistical footprint of systematic extermination. Each uncovered fragment, whether a piece of brick, a charred beam, or the subtle imprint of a former tunnel, serves as a tangible connection to the human stories that were violently interrupted. The camp's underground spaces remind us that the horror of this place was not limited to what could be seen above ground. Much of its machinery of terror operated in secrecy, shielded from immediate view but never absent from history. Through careful study and technological analysis, historians and archaeologists are finally able to illuminate these hidden aspects, piecing together the physical and psychological architecture of one of humanity's darkest chapters. One of the most striking discoveries beneath the surface is the systematic arrangement of hidden disposal sites, carefully positioned to contain evidence of mass cremations and to facilitate concealment. Soil composition, ash deposits, and scattered fragments of personal items reveal deliberate planning aimed at minimizing traceable evidence. This attention to detail reflects the cold, methodical nature of those in control, who sought to manipulate both physical space and perception, attempting to erase the atrocities as they occurred. By examining these subterranean remnants, modern researchers are able to reconstruct the methods and sequences of operations, offering insight into the industrial scale of death and the precise logistics that enabled it. The ground beneath Auschwitz-Birkenau thus becomes both a grave and a repository of historical truth, demanding acknowledgement and study. Archaeological investigations also shed light on the daily intersection of life and death in the camp. Hidden corridors and underground storage areas were not solely used for disposal, they also contained provisions, medical equipment, and everyday objects necessary for the administration of the camp. These items, preserved in situ, illustrate the dual realities of a place where routine tasks and unimaginable atrocities coexisted. Clothing fragments, kitchenware, and writing implements speak to the ordinary rhythms imposed upon prisoners, while nearby remains of crematoria foundations remind us of the omnipresent specter of mortality. The coexistence of the mundane and the horrific highlights the psychological complexity of the camp, where life and death were intertwined in a tightly controlled, relentless system. Human remains and personal artifacts found in hidden areas continue to offer profound, if haunting, insights. Fragments of letters, worn shoes, and small belongings provide glimpses into the identities and lives of victims, personalizing the statistics that so often dominate narratives about Auschwitz-Birkenau. These discoveries reinforce the individuality of each life lost and emphasize the scale of human suffering imposed by the camp's systematic policies. Beyond documentation, these artifacts compel reflection and remembrance, challenging visitors and historians alike to confront the human cost of dehumanization and industrialized violence. The evidence buried underground transforms abstract numbers into real, tangible connections, making the past palpable in ways that historical records alone cannot achieve. Modern technology continues to revolutionize our understanding of what lies beneath the surface. Ground-penetrating radar, 3D imaging, and careful non-invasive excavation techniques allow researchers to map tunnels, foundations, and hidden voids with unprecedented precision. These tools reveal patterns of construction, concealment, and destruction that were previously inaccessible, demonstrating the extraordinary foresight and planning behind the camp's infrastructure. Each newly mapped chamber or corridor contributes to a more complete understanding of Auschwitz-Birkenau as both a site of immense suffering and a meticulously engineered system of oppression. The invisible becomes visible, the lost becomes documented, and the hidden truths emerge to guide remembrance and scholarship. Ethical considerations remain central to any exploration beneath Auschwitz-Birkenau. Every discovery involves human remains and objects with deep historical and emotional significance. Researchers must navigate the tension between uncovering knowledge and preserving the dignity of those who perished. Excavation, documentation, and public interpretation are conducted with reverence, ensuring that discoveries are not exploited for sensationalism but serve as instruments of education, remembrance, and moral reflection. This responsibility extends to all who engage with the site, from historians and archaeologists to visitors and educators, highlighting the enduring ethical imperative that accompanies the study of such profound human tragedy. Even decades later, the subterranean world of Auschwitz-Birkenau continues to challenge our understanding of history. The hidden chambers, ash-laden pits, and buried foundations underscore the depth of planning behind systematic extermination while preserving the memory of lives lost. By studying these spaces, we gain insight not only into the mechanics of oppression but also into the resilience of memory itself. The earth beneath the camp retains traces of suffering, refusing to allow complete erasure, and demanding acknowledgement from every generation that seeks to learn from the past. These hidden layers remind us that truth often lies beneath the surface and that uncovering it is both a scholarly task and a moral obligation. In the end, the largest graveyard in the world is not merely a place of death but a repository of memory, evidence, and warning. Beneath the serene landscapes of today, the ground preserves the echoes of horror, the faint imprints of daily life, and the meticulous structures of calculated cruelty. By studying and honoring what lies beneath Auschwitz-Birkenau, we confront the full weight of history, ensuring that the lessons, the stories, and the memories of those lost endure. The subterranean spaces, once hidden and silent, now speak with clarity and power, demanding that humanity remember, reflect, and never forget.